I think we good. Let me start this off right. Yo. Yeah. 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 Y'all already know what's happening. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. I'm joined with my brother, my co-host, my brother from another mother. Blood couldn't make us any closer. One of the best photographers in the world. My brother, Santana. Say something to the people.
What's good? What's good? What's good? Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all could have been anywhere else, but y'all here with us tonight. And of course, we appreciate that. And for that, we got a jam-packed show, and we're gonna get right to it. You heard?
You heard, man. It's a lot going on in the news, man. It's a lot, so we're gonna get straight to it for y'all again. We on the road to 20,000 subscribers for this channel. It's moving at a rapid rate. We just went over 11,000 subscribers. We went from 10 some of our day ones, and our bad told us again. Thank y'all for the support and the energy that y'all bring every show to the chat. Y'all, we give y'all the information. Y'all give us information. We just, you know what I'm saying? It's a circle. It's a circle. You know what I'm saying? It's a circle. You know what I mean? All right, y'all. Let's get it started. No further ado. Again, y'all already know. First segment of the night: popular opinions. Again, y'all, these are not our questions. These are the world questions. So stick to the answers in the questions, y'all. Again, I'm sorry. This segment is brought to you by OUV Records. The label model is create, document, and inspire. So make sure you go to at OUV Records on Instagram and make sure you stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. Again, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. All right, y'all. First question of the night. Again, popular opinions. What's the best sport you never tried? What's the best sport you never tried? Number one, skeleton, aka motorbob, monobob, but it's called skeleton. Number two, limbo roller skating. Number three, artistic cycling. Number four, well, I had it mixed up. Number four, volcano boarding. Which one are y'all going with?
What type of sports are these?
Again, these are sports that you never tried.
I ain't never heard not near one of them.
Not near not nada.
Nah. You heard one of them?
I've heard of two. I've heard of two before. So all right, but you've seen them before. So all right, so let me give y'all a description. Skeleton, aka monobob, is the sport where basically you've seen bobsledding.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the movie The Jamaican Bobsled Team?
Yeah.
So instead of the four, it's just the one.
Okay.
Okay. Number two, limbo rollerblading is basically somebody rollerblading, but they getting low and they going under like pins.
Oh, see how low and okay. The distance and how low they could go.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Artistic cycling is basically riding your bike, but it's like you got to be
Doing tricks and all that.
but super swaggy though. Like it's on a whole nother level. Like
You
yo,
getting your Diddy Bop on?
Diddy to the 1,000th power on the bicycle. You know what I'm saying? And you got to do it like sometimes you got to do it with a crew. You know what I'm saying? Because it's artistic. You know what I'm saying? Y'all forming swans.
Because it's
You know what I'm saying?
artistic.
You know what I mean? You forming swans on the bikey. You know what I mean? So it's kind of fly. I ain't gonna hold you.
Because
And
it's artistic, you
it's
heard?
artistic. You know what I'm saying? And then fourth is self-explanatory.
Oh, no.
Boarding. You go off the top of a volcano, you have the board under you, and you just slide.
Now, I'm gonna go put me on the mono board, the single bobsled.
The mono board. I said mono bob. Mono board.
Is it which one is it? I thought it was
It's,
mono.
it's it's called skeleton, but it's AKA mono board or mono bob. Either one will do.
Well, I'm
They
gonna go
have
with skeleton. That one looked fly to me.
that look fly.
Yeah.
I looked at that. I was like, I'm cool on that because I don't want to have to run on ice and go head first. Because in the bobsledding crew, you go ass first. Pause. You know what I'm saying? On the monobob, you know what I'm saying? You gotta, you know what I'm saying? And just hold. You know what I mean? But that's kind of risque for me. You know what I'm saying? For me, you know what I'm saying? But for me, I'm gonna go with artistic cycling, bro. I think that's kind of like that's kind of snazzy, bro. You know what I'm saying? You on the bike, you doing all your tricks. It's basically growing up in New York City and riding through the hood, but you're doing it in tournament style and you doing it in unison to a swan. Like you trying to make a swan out of your bike cuts and all that stuff or whatever the case may be. So I'm gonna go with artistic uh cycling. My brother went with skeleton, aka monoboard or monobob. They had a monobob. The chat, who the chat going with? They saying Terry Crews. Volcano boarding. What think about Aaron the plumber? Black Judge High. We shout out to Ryan, shout out to Jonathan in the building. And I'm seeing I'm seeing more skeletons. So I'm gonna say skeleton and I'm gonna say volcano boarding in the chat. Again, I went with artistic cycling. My brother went with skeleton as well. The rest of the world at 43% went with limbo roller skating. What do you think about that?
I mean, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that's flexible out here to really pull that off. So shout out to them.
I ain't gonna hold you. Like that's like a wild, creepy sport. Cause when you see the women get real low to the floor and they just in that one position and their legs is like this and they kind of thicky. It's like, yo, I'm trying to look to see how many pins you could do, but just naturally, you looking at all that body yada yada suspended in that low to the ground. You just can't help but have a creepy thought. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's kind of fly though. I ain't gonna hold you. That's very you know athletic. The best way I could say it. All right, y'all, moving on to our next popular opinion question. And again, y'all, these are not our questions, these are the world questions. So stick to the answers in the questions, y'all. All right, number two. What what would you rather? What would you rather? What would you rather? Okay. Number one, 10 million for your woman. Number two, 100 million for your children. Number three, 1 million for yourself. Number four, 1 billion for your mom. Which one you got?
Yo, yo,
Which one you got? That's a tough choice, but I, you gotta tell me which one you got, bro.
um, oof. Honestly, I'm a bet it all. I'm gonna go with my mom's. 1 billion for my mom's because I'm gonna get some out of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get some out of that. You know what I'm saying? You can't even spend all the whole billion. You're gonna need help spending it anyway. And guess who the firstborn son gonna get? I'm gonna get some of that. So yeah, 1 billion to the mom. You know what I'm saying? We straight.
1 billion.
1 billion. You know what I'm saying? And the whole family gonna be good. Because 1 billion for myself ain't gonna be enough.
You know what's funny, right? So, all right, in the chat, we gotta mix the answers. I'm seeing two. I'm seeing one. I'm seeing four. Right? I'm seeing a billion. So I'm seeing a mixed array of answers. So everybody's emotions all over the place. All right. So let me break it down. So 10 million for your woman is like that's cool,
Nah.
but it depends on your lady, bro. Like chances are she ain't gonna break you
It
off.
don't matter
She,
who
she,
it is. 10 million
she,
for your lady, she going.
she ain't gonna break you off. Now she might go on vacation. Y'all might go on vacation, and you might, get all whatever's on the vacation. But chances are, you know what I'm saying. But there's some women out there that would, put on for their dude. 100 mil, I'm cool with 100 mil for the kids because regardless of what I'm doing, I'm always gonna be straight. So the kids got 100 mil, so they uber straight. You know what I'm saying? Now, do I expect to get some out of that? Not really, but I know that my kids are straight. You know what I'm saying? 1 million for myself. I mean, I could turn it into 10 million. I could turn it into 100 million. But I ain't gonna hold you. I'm like you, bro. I'm a just bet on Mom Dukes that she gonna do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? This is the only
Just think about up until this point, everything your mom has did for you without that Billy.
right,
Now add the Billy.
right.
You know what
Oh,
I'm saying? So it's
oh,
like,
we talking about now. We talking about right now. If my moms are still alive, your moms are still here. Thank God. You know what I'm saying? That's a blessing and everything. But I'm gonna take the chance.
oh no, that's definitely. If it was today, for sure, I'm still taking that. That's 100%. I'm 1 billion to moms
Yeah, yeah.
because you ain't gonna spend all of it.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
gonna
a
need the whole family to help you spend it anyway.
I'm gonna roll that sleep. Now, if they said 1 billion to my pops, I would have said yes off the rip because the way how my pops used to operate is like, yo, I ain't necessarily gonna give you the bread, but we gonna run a play where instead of me giving you bread, we could make about 10 mil off the deal. That's how, you know what I'm saying, me and my pops operate. You feel me? So I know I'm gonna eat. You feel me? He gonna be like, yo, I gotta play. And if you run the play right, you know what I'm saying, you can make you your own bread, but I'm gonna set it up whereas, you know what I'm saying, it's a business, you know what I'm saying? Mom Dukes, I know for a fact my mom's just like, yo, I'm gonna give you a taste. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna get you, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna get you right. So
Bro, just 10% of $1 billion, you good.
that's a fact.
That's all. I'm 5% of that.
That's a fact.
2%, you good.
1%. You know what I'm saying? You guapi.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm betting on my mom's and be like, yo, we're gonna get you the 1 Billy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going with 1 Billy for my mom's. You with 1 Billy for my mom's. In the chat, I saw 1 Billy. I actually saw 10 million for your woman, King Prince. I think he's trying to be funny. I seen did I see 1 million for myself? I didn't see that. Give me that money. Okay, so I did see the 1 million for myself. All right, so the rest of the world at 41% went with number three. Give me the 1 million for myself. What do you think about that?
They don't got no faith.
No
They got
faith,
no
no,
faith and no family members.
not even Mom Dukes. Like,
Not
yo,
even moms.
imagine that lady. Remember the lady we talked about last episode that tried to take the little kid's birthday money. Since he didn't want to give her the birthday money, she was taking his PlayStation back to to pay some bills. Now imagine giving her $1 billion. That would be crazy. Her decision making will be wild all over the place.
Damn.
Yo, all right, so that was fun. That was fun. All right, moving on to our next segment. Hollywood Need to Ask Us. We came up with the segment because there's a lot of trash movies in Hollywood they giving us that we didn't ask for. We're not even looking to it because the idea is not even creative. So we came up with the segment. We got better movies or show series type of ideas. Oh, you want to start this one off?
Definitely. So my Hollywood need to ask us is I want to see uh pretty much a different production. I want a series and a bunch of different movies because this content is so vast and they got so much to it that they can make so much out of it. I want to see a universe where we get to see Metal Gear Solid either a series or a bunch of movies. 'Cause I feel the game itself has is just so pivotal and it's just so lit to play that game, and it was just a different type of game coming out, and it's been out for so many years. And I feel there's so much storyline behind the game itself that we definitely need to see either a series of it, or I would love to see a standalone movie of Metal Gear Solid. I think it's time. They just now remade the original Metal Gear Solid from PlayStation 1 days. And if anybody remember playing that game in PlayStation 1, there was a part playing Psycho Mantis that any kid that played that at that time, yo, you done threw your controller at the TV 100 times until you figured out what you have to do to beat that guy. And how they did it was so innovative. And the creator of Metal Gear Solid has always kept that innovative and creative spark throughout the games up until now, and you can play on PS4 and PS5. So I'd love to see this game made into a series, more so a movie, but I wouldn't be mad for a series. So I'd love to see Metal Gear Solid.
That's fire. That's fire. Yo, that's a good time right there. That's a good
Right.
time. They stay true to the story. It will. I think it will be an easy. That's a layup, to be honest with you, because
That's
they.
what I'm saying.
Yeah. So I think that would be fire. That would be fire. I'm all for that. That's hard. I my Hollywood need to ask us. I want to see a movie based on the history of downtown Orlando, Florida. I learned some things recently that I did not know. Living in Orlando, in the area, I mean, it's just a place like no other. I mean, when people talk about Florida, when they think about Florida, immediately they think of Miami. Where you reside, Miami's the party town to people that it's not from Florida. But Orlando has a party atmosphere that is very wild, very crazy, and it's downtown Orlando. Most people, when they think of Orlando, they think of the Orlando Magics, they think of Disney. But downtown Orlando is a whole nother animal, and it gets crazy. But I didn't know the history of downtown Orlando. So, like the biggest club downtown Orlando is called Club Beach, or one of the biggest clubs. And before Club Beecham was, put there, there was actually a historic jail there. It was known as the Old Augustine Jail, and it was it homed from 1891 to 1953. It was closed due to the deplorable conditions and cruelty that inflicted on the residents. Like it has so many layers. So the site of itself, it was actually bought by a local politician named Braxton Beecham. And like I said, I want to see the movie how it go. It went from that to where we are today. And there was a hotel right across called the San Juan Hotel in 1884. And from the hotel, you can actually see the hangings. You can see the different ways how they had capital punishment for the prisoners at these hotels. So I would like to see a movie based on that history of what we know the party area to be is downtown Orlando. So just a lot of history that I love to see. I'm a history buff with my movies as well, so I think that would be fire.
That's different. You know what I'm saying? How that transition from prison to to a club. That's like there's a I forget the name of the club, but there used to be a club that was a church at one point in the
Hmm.
city. I forget the name of it, but yeah, that's interesting, son. You know what I mean? History of these buildings and um architecture in itself is it's a rabbit hole. Like when you start looking into it.
Yeah, yeah, and when you look at the pictures on how these places used to look and the structures and it's and that particular area is a mega hub because right off that area you can actually walk to the Orlando Magic's area. You walk to the main strip of Orlando and it's nothing but clubs. It's nothing but a good time. When you walk that strip, you have people walking in the street. I'm saying down Orlando is like no other. I mean, you know that, but I'm just saying for the people that don't, it's unlike no other. So I would like to see a movie based on that history. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment, our must see segment, must hear music, must see watch TV show. Y'all love this segment because we come up with some of the most fire movies that you never heard of. I guarantee y'all. I'm gonna say y'all haven't heard at least two out of three of my movies tonight. I'm going to bet on that. So, you want to start this one off?
Yeah, I'll start this on off. So my movies, you know how I always do. I always have a theme for my movies. I feel as though these movies have a specific message that they're trying to portray. So my theme for my movies are piercing the veil. So each one of these movies are piercing the veil of reality, but using different means to do it. So first movie is called Stir of Echoes. Came out in 1999.
Fire.
So Kevin Bacon, Zachary David Cope, Catherine Irby, David Keop, Elena Douglas, Jennifer Morrison, Kevin Dunn, Lisa Well, Stephen Eugene Walker, Louisa Shrews, Charlene Williams, and Connor O'Farrell. About a movie about this family who goes to this party and they have a Ouija board, and that's what they use to pierce the veil. and you gotta watch the rest of the movie to see what happens. Fire movie doesn't really get talked about, but it's a classic. Next one on the list is called Paranormal Activity 5 Ghost Dimension. Came out in 2015. Stars Kate Featherston, Chris J. Murray, Olivia Taylor Dudley, Ivy George, Chloe Synergy, Stephen Dunham, Christopher Nicholas, Brittany Shaw, Mark Steger, Sabrina Culver, Adian Lovecamp, and Dane Gill. This movie is about, again, piercing the veil. And this particular movie, they use a video camera to do it. So now you gotta watch the movie to figure out how they do it. Dope movie right here. The Paranormal Activity series kind of got cheesy after a while, but the fifth one I felt was really the one that really showcased everything that you needed to see. And last on my list is called Poltergeist. Came out in 1982, classic right here. Stars Heather O'Rourke, Joe Beth Williams, Dominique Dunn, Zelda Robinstein, Craig T. Nelson, Oliver Robbins, and Beatrice Straight. Now, in this particular movie, Piercing the Veil, they use a TV to do it. Now, you gotta watch the rest of the movie to figure out how it happens. These are fire movies about piercing the veil, and tell me if I'm wrong, but you gotta watch all three of them to find out. So these movies were Steer of Echoes, Paranormal Activity 5, Ghost Dimension, and Poltergeist.
Fire movies, man. Poltergeist is such a damn classic, bro. I haven't watched that movie in a while. You just gave me a movie that I'm going to watch. I haven't seen Poltergeist in a minute, especially the original OG first one. Like that one right there scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. And I don't know, my oldest brother thought it was the funniest thing in the world to see me like like scared, like he not 10 years older than me. Like I ain't supposed to be scared. You know what I'm saying? Like he 14, I'm four, and he like, you scared? Like I'm four. Like what are you talking about, bro?
I think that type shit funny.
You almost mushed the whole cake in his face, B. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. All right, y'all. Yo, dope movies. Make sure y'all go tap into those movies. All right, my must three see movies. Y'all gotta see these, man. These joints is fire. All right, my first one came out in 2001, directed by John Helsfield. This stars Robert De Niro, Edward Burns, Kelsey Grammer, Verda Famiga, Avery Brooks, Carol Rodden, Oleg. I'm gonna tear his last name up. Pause. But Oleg Takovaskis and David Allen Greer and Darius McQuarrie. Y'all know Oleg Terevashkovich from Bad Boy 2. He was the general that ended up in the tortilla bin. So y'all remember him, right? But this movie's fire though. This movie is about a top tier top cop and him and a top tier top firefighter basically get in the same case, and they are trying to figure out who is doing the murders that is piling up. And you got to go see the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all, so make sure y'all tap into 15 minutes. Remember, the movie is called 15 minutes, and the theme of the movie is so fire. So that 15 minutes go a long way in the movie. All right, second must see movie. This is actually a remake, came out in 2005, directed by Gene Francis Richard. This movie is called Assault on Precinct 13. This movie stars Ethan Hawke, Lawrence Fishburne, Mario Bello, Drea De Mata, John Leguizamo, Ja Rule, Gabriel Bryan, uh, Brian Dennehy, and Aisha Hines. Fire movie, y'all. It's a remake. Basically, it's about a man who have a case on the police. He actually murdered a guy in the church, and you have to go see the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all, so make sure y'all tap in to see Assault on Precinct 13. Third and final movie that is a must see came out in 1984. Y'all love, I love them 80s and 90s movies. The color grade, the physical locations. This movie was directed by Ethan Coen. This stars Frances McDormand, Dan Hideo, John Getz, and M. Emmett Walsh. This movie is called Blood Sample. This is about a couple that's having some issues, and the wife went to go see the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all, so make sure y'all tap in to see. I'm sorry, Blood Simple, Assault on Precinct 13 in 15 minutes. So make sure y'all go tap into those movies. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next must hear music. I come up with the theme for must hear music because y'all love the theme on the must see music. This you have to add to your playlist. R&B, different vibrations. This group is called Color Me Bad. Color Me Bad. Make sure y'all put these three songs in y'all playlist by Color Me Bad. Number one, I Adore Me More. Number two, Roll the Dice. Number three, I Want to Sex You Up. Pause. So again, tap into those songs right there, y'all. Again, I Adore Me More. Number two, Roll the Dice. Number three, I Want to Sex You Up. Pause. Again, make sure y'all tap into Color Me Bad, the R&B group, Fire Music. So make sure y'all tap into that. All right, moving on to our classic show, must see show, documentary, or stand up. You want to start that one off?
Now you can start it off.
All right, so my must see show only had one season, came out in 1997. This show was so fire, so funny, so much substance. This show was called Good News. The show stars David Ramsey, Roz Ryan, Guy Torrey, and Tracy C. Jones. This comedy show was about a pastor coming into the new church, taking over for the old pastor who retired, and the ends and goings of running the church. But it's hilarious though. It's hilarious, and it stay true to the color. And there's so much substance to the comedy as well. No throwaway episodes. So make sure y'all tap into Good News.
Fire, fire. Mine is a classic for sure. It had 10 seasons, came out in 1994, and my show is called Friends. Classic show right there. I love this show. It's definitely hilarious to me. I thought the characters on there were just iconic, and it stars Jennifer Aniston, Lisa Kudrow, David Schwimmer, Matthew Perry, Courtney Cox, Matt LeBlanc, Paul Rudd, James Michael Tyler, Maggie Wheeler, Tom Selleck, Cole Sprouse, and Christina Applegate. It's about a bunch of friends living in the city, supporting each other, going through the trials and tribulations of being in the city, relationships, and just a funny series to watch. I feel it kind of teetered off after the eighth season, but the earlier seasons to me were the best ones. But you could definitely catch Friends on any one of the platforms now, Hulu, and definitely check it out.
Mhm. For some reason, every time I hear Friends, I've always think of the episode of the Wayans brothers where Marlon is starting to get on, and he on the show where where it comes off as like Friends, and he plays like the token black guy on like that episode, and all his lines was what, like it was only like facial expressions. So I don't know if you remember that episode with Marlon where he started working on the show within the Wayans brothers, and it was kind of like Friends. So every time I think of Friends, I think of that. So, all right, y'all, moving on. Whoever's in the chat, don't be weird. This show is not for the bots. We don't do the bots here. So please don't do the trolling here. If you want to support, we appreciate your support. But please, if you're going to be weird, we will hook you up with some exclusive tickets to the block party. So please support. Support. Do not be weird. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. All right, moving on. Y'all already know what time it is. It's time to rap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps, where you get classic movie shows, documentary, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, Button Snaps. Oh, I feel like I'm skipping something. You got cologne for us? I'm bugging.
Definitely got cologne for y'all. You look good, you feel good, you smell good, you're gonna do good. This cologne for this week is called Fugazi. Now don't let the name fool you. The scent is called Vanilla House. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
It's on point. Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't let the name fool you. So the name
Yeah.
is Fugazi, but the scent is called Vanilla House. So definitely tap into that one.
Make sure y'all tap into Vanilla House. Again, the goal is to get the girl. Smell good, feel good, get the girl. All right, y'all, moving on. Like we said, it's time to wrap. So first hot topic of the night. Did you know that Nike Air Force Ones, it only cost them $16 to make? Jordan Nike Air Force Ones?
It probably went up now. It was probably cheaper back in the day.
Yeah, they saying that it costs $16 to produce, 10.75 for the materials, $2.43 for the labor, another $2.10 for the overhead, 97 cents for the factory profit. What do you think about that?
I mean, that's not far fetched. That's business. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna find a way to make the product at a cheap rate and sell it at a high rate, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and then in the middle of that, the profit margin, you don't have to worry about all the other stuff, and it's just all profit from there. And
Yeah.
I mean, we've known about this for years, so this is nothing new. Nobody should be shocked about this.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the breakdown to me is crazy. I knew it was this. I didn't know it was like the margin was this wide. So you got to think about it. You selling millions and millions of sneakers throughout the years. How much money did Nike made just off of Nike Jordan ones? And we're talking about Jordan ones where it was basically intricate at that time. The different levels of the stitching and the style, and it was very intricate compared to those early Nikes, where Nikes was basically big check, you know, lifestyle type of shoe, but it's way more intricate. The Nike ones was way more intricate.
It's all perception. They make a perception and perceive that if you buy this particular product, that you're buying a quality brand, you're buying a high price brand. But meanwhile, behind the scenes, it costs literally next to nothing to make,
Hmm.
especially these high end fashion houses. What's the difference between Nike and Louis Vuitton? If they
Fact.
do the same scheme to keep their business afloat,
Hmm.
make the product cheap, sell it for high, and have the perception that my quality and my brand is luxurious because it's hand stitched and hand woven and this, that, and the third. And we don't even make commercials for our products. This is how you know it's good.
Hmm.
We don't have commercials for ours.
Yeah,
It was
you
perceived in your mind that, oh yeah, this quality is so good. But lo and behold, a $5,000 bag costs $32 to me.
hmm
But they put it out there for y'all to know, but yet and still y'all
they
still
don't.
go to them and buy and pay $5,000. So
Yeah, yeah.
it can't be who's at fault now.
So what are we paying for real?
You paying for the perception, the what the marketing dollars that they put into put in your mind that this product is of high brand, of high quality because it's Nike, because it's Louis Vuitton, because it's Chanel.
Hmm.
But if you do the history of where all these companies came from, they all started from the sweatshop. And just because they're making multi-billion dollars now, does that mean they ain't still got them same sweatshops?
Right. Right.
They just got multitude of sweatshops now.
Right.
You know
More money on top of money on.
what I'm saying? So they're just gonna outsource the work cheaply and then make us pay a high price for it.
The sneakers cost more. The labor of how they make it haven't probably even increased based on their product margin. So at the end of the day, they're making a killing. They're making a killing, and it's so funny because when you think about it, right? People are really paying for just really the name. Because if you don't put the logo on there, is it the same thing? Yes, because of the quality, it's still made by the same people. Hearing this make me respect somebody like Stephon Marbury even more. One my favorite NBA player of all time, where he had sneakers and he sold them, I believe, for like $15 or $25. This was like years ago. I mean, the sneakers didn't look great. And if you would have put more time into making it look great, but that wasn't the goal to make it look great. It was just having a quality shoe that kids could afford at the time. And the fact that he sold it that cheap, he still made an extreme profit, but it was still an affordable sneaker for the average kid to get and not feel left out. And I think that was like the beginning of kids not feeling left out, where, Shaquille O'Neal took his sneakers to Walmart, and we had a generation of kids that did not value Jordans and Nikes the way we once did. Even now, Louis Vuitton and Gucci and Prada, the, like the new kids is really just getting into that. They really just getting into Prada again. Because it went from a long time, we've seen anybody that even rock Prada. So with that being said, just looking at the situation, a lot of kids grew up just wanting not to be left out. So again, with the with Stephon Marbury, people don't notice the sneaker company bought his company out just to shut it down because he was going to crash the market based on his product margins. That's why I even brought up Stephon Marbury. So if it takes the average sneaker $16 to make, the Jordan 1 to make, let's say on the scale it was $13 or $12 at the time, and he turned around to sell it for 25, other players would probably start doing the same thing, and it was going to crash everything down. He probably could have jazzed it up a little bit more, but he would have been able to crash it. So they bought his company out just to shut it down.
But that goes to show you how good the chicken sandwich is. That goes to show you how good the perception of reality is on people. If you could come out with a sneaker just because it didn't look good and was affordable, and people were and parents were complaining about high price sneakers and then being expensive, a guy comes out with a cheap sneakers, brand is still the same from the same companies that these people are
Hmm. Hmm.
getting it from. It's no different. But because the chicken sandwich is so good, you're gonna go with the more expensive one
Right.
because the perception is so good, and his name was becoming so good and so big that eventually people would start waking up, and that's why they needed to get rid of it, because it's like, why would we need to pay Nike all these exuberant amount of prices? Like, they
Hmm.
would have to start explaining it. They couldn't do that.
Hmm.
They had to do a whole smear campaign, get them out of there, make them look crazy. You know the vibes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now 20 years later, we back to square one again, because this was back in 2000 when they was doing this.
Yes. And the way he was moving, it was affecting the other players because his teammate Al Harrington opened up his own clothing line. It starts with a V. I think it's called a Viola or I don't want to be disrespectful and mess up the name, but he had like his own store, having his own products, sneakers, and everything, right across the street from Madison Square Garden, and they shut him down by buying it out.
Yeah, because you can't be in the league and then you selling your own product while getting a check from the league. It's not going down like that,
Hmm.
because you have a platform. You're using their platform to make money off of them, and you're not cutting them a check. Oh no,
Hmm.
they're not going for that.
Hmm. But think how much power that is for a company to buy all your inventory just to shut you down.
It's the game. You sign with them.
But that's wild to me that a company is that big that had, but it makes sense financially because they've been making all this money all these years. Mind you, Nike's got real popular what, 84? They've been around since the 70s, you
But
know.
they've been all these companies. At the end of the day, no matter how they want to slice it, no matter how they want to make it look, no matter how much money they want to put in marketing, all these companies have built off the backs of melanated people. So the mere fact they want to play these games and do all these smear campaigns, buy people out, close their businesses because it's a threat to them is a farce to me. Because at the end of the day, your company would never even exist if it wasn't for melanin. At the end of the day, I don't care if it's a burger company to the insurance companies. Anything and everything in this society, in this reality, has been created based on melanin.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, so the mere fact that they want to just now be like, oh, want to shut you down because it's a threat, it's like, come on. Why is the NBA so popular today? Why? Because of the coaching? Come on. They just now getting melanin and coaching and that. But how many melanin people been playing on the court for how long? The
That's a
NBA been around for 75 years.
that's a fact.
Why is it been around for this long?
That's a that's a fact. You know, but one thing that we have to start doing is being able to play the business game better outside of basketball. We learn how to be the show. We got to be the business.
But
And
we had there was opportunity when Big Baller Brand was coming out with his wave. They used perception and media to shut
of
him down.
course, yes,
You know what
absolutely,
I'm saying? There's
of
too
course.
many examples of too many people doing it, and then when they get to a certain level where they can be a force, now all of a sudden the media says one thing, and the same people that was following them, all of a sudden they turn their backs because
Mhm,
media said one thing. But you was rocking with this person until he got to that point where he could have that media platform.
mhm.
Now they spin it a certain way. Now you have doubts. Come on.
But can you imagine though? Can you imagine if, say, Lonzo Ball didn't get hurt or didn't have his injury issues? You have Lamelo balling out. Can you imagine if they would have stuck with their dad and they would have, stuck to building the brand? And because people were supporting them, but again, when they went
The
on
money.
media, when the
Mm-hmm.
talk, they say, well, yeah, you got LeVar Ball with Baller Brand. I wonder how the quality of the shoe is. We just seen, this, that, and the third, and we don't know if their performance level, but we just seen Zion Williams when he was in college blow up a whole Nike sneaker.
But they don't talk about that.
They don't talk about that at all.
It's the hypocrisy is just funny to me. That's why it's just like it's just at this point it's just you gotta just shrug your shoulders and just laugh it off because at the end of the day it's like none of this can now get an emotional rise out of you because how they've
Hmm.
been playing the same game for God knows how long. Y'all still falling for the chicken sandwich still. It's like, this is crazy now.
So being that we know this for sure, do you think this is going to have any effect on how people buy products, and especially when it comes to clothing?
We're gonna have a very tall tale sign when them checks start coming in. Whenever they drop in 5 bands, we're
Hmm.
gonna see
Hmm.
all this data, all this chat GPT, all this AI, all this countless information you have at the fingers at your fingertips. What you gonna do now?
Hmm.
You can't say, "Oh, nobody ain't tell me."
Right, because you got the information right there. You have a computer, a camera.
CIA dropping all types of files. You know what I'm saying? Releasing all types of shit.
Hmm.
Everybody releasing everything. You got all information now.
Hmm. And it's right at your fingertips. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. I have to get the video for this. A group of medical professionals say they only bathe their children once a week. Let me pull up the audio for this real quick.
Maybe once a week. You talk maybe, and they don't use. My children probably bathe maybe once a week. You talk maybe, and they don't use. My goes a fourth Japanese. He thinks they have to bathe every day. I did delayed bathing with both my kids. Yes, that's why are they dirty? They're not dirty. I want them to sit in my vagina. Yes. Talk to us about how you only bathe your kids once a week. I want to know more about that. I just let my kids do what they want to do. I have 4 children. I'm not going to fight with my kids over little stupid things like bathing. So you don't make them bathe every day. You'll just do when they want to once a week. If it's once a week, right? You know, when now they swim. We have a pool and they swim in the summer, so I guess we call that bathing. So probably even less than that, But no, we tell it like our kids have autonomy over their body.
Yeah. So, what do you think about that? It's a group of medical professionals that say that they only bathe their children once a week.
Well, the medical professional has nothing to do with the mere fact that the old saying is cleanliness is next to godliness. So the more clean you are, the more prepared and the more focused you are to attack life. So the mere fact that you don't tell your kids to not take a bath leads me to believe that you don't take baths at all neither, because the kids are just following what they see their parents do and whatever their parents reinforce them to do or not do. So that also leads me to look at culturally, like, you know what I'm saying, certain cultures don't get jiggy with the shower. But then yet and still these same cultures want to denigrate and look down on other cultures. How? When you don't take a bath every day. The simple thing of taking a shower, washing your face, getting your mind right, is somehow looked upon as is not needed. And then you want to add in a medical professional on top of that, as somehow that's going to make your stance that more solidified. You just look crazy. Like, are you serious?
I don't think there's nothing more basic human need more than being able to take a shit, a shower, and a shave. Those are the three essentials that everyone needs, both man and woman. Whether it's to shave your body or shave your face or whatever the case may be, being having the space to do that, having the space to open and close your own door, and being able to refresh and recharge.
Let me just add this one point, my fault, not to cut you off. This is also a byproduct of dun, 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 the Department of Education. Go ahead.
So, you know, to add to that, basically, um, and it's interesting that they're medical professionals because these are the same people that's giving other people advice on how they should maneuver their body, or giving them advice based on their profession, but it's not based on cleanliness. I have an issue with that. Like, it's just weird to me that how can you work in the medical profession but you don't take showers and baths regularly, and your children don't. So anything you telling me is basically full of shit because you haven't washed it off. It's a metaphor for how you live your life. You funky. Your vice is shitty because you funky. How do you recharge? So you just come home, a good two shifts in, jump in the bed, clothes and all, ain't take your shoes off, your sneakers off, nothing, just in the bed. You
I
smash,
remember.
you smashing out, you cooking, you working out, you working again, another two shifts, and that ass still ain't hit the hot water. Shit, cold water at least, no type of water.
I remember there was a whole um meme or videos coming out about how they say that using a washcloth is for poor people, and these are people that don't take showers every day. The
Mm-hmm.
audacity! Like, I take a shower every day, but yet it's still, you take a shower once a week, but you're gonna clown on me for using a washcloth, but you take a shower once a week.
And
You obviously you gotta take a shit every day, right?
right,
So you just
right.
got extra doodoo crumbs on extra doodoo crumbs just walking about. Like, come on, son. And these are people that are lifted high up in society, have a say in what goes because they have a quote unquote profession, or they make $1 billion. Yet you don't wash your hands when you use the bathroom. Get the fuck out of here. The simplest things you don't do. Nah, son.
This is wild to me. So you come home, get in the bed, and put on new clothes with all that funk.
These are the same people that during COVID at this job, we had to have a whole meeting about washing your hands after using the bathroom. Mind you, this is adults we talking about, a whole room of adults. And I'm looking like I'm flabbergasted. Like, I'm getting paid for 2 hours to have this meeting?
Mm-hmm.
This is insane.
Something that you thought was you didn't have to mention.
And then After that 2-hour meeting, I go use the bathroom. Two gentlemen in there just blasted the bathroom and just walk out. It's like, wow. But I can't say no joints though, because why? That's crazy.
Even when I went to Publix the other day to get some hot food, and the way he was banging down them tongues on the glass jar, I was like, yo, bro, you gonna get you like, some new tongues, right? He was like, oh, you want new tongues? Yeah. Then bro went into the back. He took a second too late. I just got up out of there, bro.
Yeah, you don't know where he got the other ones from.
Come on, bro. If you didn't go back and come, I dipped, bro. He was back there more than 60 seconds. So I already knew what was up. Like, oh, so I gotta go get tongues, huh? Heard you. I got up out of there.
Nah, this is bad business.
So, but the mindset that he didn't want to go do it, right? What made me believe he took a shower? What made me believe after he took his shit, got it up, and put his hands on them damn tongues? Just simple necessity. Like I didn't really understand that until we went to college. When we was in college, bro, you know how them bathrooms, the communal bathrooms, the floor bathrooms were set up. You had the shower on one side and the toilets on the other. On the shower side, you had the area where you was able to wash your hands, brush your teeth, then shower. On the other side was just the toilets. So when you could hear the people, using the bathroom or whatever, they'll finish, get up, and walk right out. I'm like, yo, I'm over here shaving, but it's like 20 different, things you could do, 20 different places where you could brush your teeth or wash your hands. And I'm like, yo, they just walked out. They didn't come over here to wash their hands, nothing. Just wild work. So the fact that this is a group of professionals having a conversation about not taking showers regularly, and they don't even force their children, which children accumulate. They dirt live on children like no like no other, bro. Like fleas live on a homeless person. Kids just fall into dirt. So how do you not make your kids take baths, bro? Just wingworm itching and all. Like that's just wild to me. So at the end of the day, be careful who y'all go to and be careful who y'all listen to as far as medical professionals, because if this is their mindset, I can't imagine how they do at work or anything else. Like that, this is wild to me. Yo, shout out to Rowan Jack. He just gifted 5 people some memberships, y'all. A thank you is in order, man. Appreciate you, Rowan Jack, again for supporting the show as always. But he gifted some people some memberships, and again, a thank you is in order. Shout out to Sneaker B. Shout out to Bonnie. Shout out to Vic. Shout out to Mula. And shout out to Ryan. He gifted you guys with some memberships. So we got some more people in the chat with their memberships, some more badge holders. So again, thank you for that gifted, Rowan Jack, man. Appreciate that. Big love, man. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. And I see Rowan Jack in the chat, man. He was like, those are results of single mothers. Um, but you heard the women speaking though. It was women and I think it's like one guy or whatever. But anyway, moving on to our next hot topic. Soul singer, some more death that done happened. Soul singer Angie Stone died in a car crash. She was 63 in Mobile, Alabama. Uh, the question is, was it an accident? Um, Recently, as of 3 months prior to her passing, rest in peace again to Angie Stone. She called out Universal Music Group for taking all her royalties and not getting paid properly from her music. Um, she's never received the full money of her music, and she never received the full music of her money. She never received the full money of her music.
Mhm.
What do you think about that? Accident or coincidence?
Well, it's tragic that she's passed, and I'm sorry to hear that. Condolences to her family.
Yes.
But also it's always that sad tale of like of artists always getting robbed of their royalties, and they don't understand what's going on with their finances, and checks not coming in like they supposed to, and now they want to start looking at paperwork. My thing is like, why wasn't this done from the jump? Why wasn't this done when you got out of a messed up contract? Now you're about to go into a new one. Let me read this contract this time. You know what I'm saying? Why was none of these things ever done? I don't understand why. You've been in the game for so long. You've rubbed elbows with so many people. So nobody put nobody on to no information. So everybody in the industry have fucked up deals, and everybody just walked around not knowing how to get out of no deals, unless you Jay-Z. So he just know what books to read, and he could read Latin. You can't read or something. He reading a book you can't read in a language you can't understand. How is it still to this day people are still having issues with contracts? What's going on? Maybe Doge need to look at these contracts. What's like? I'm serious, like honestly, because this can't be life. Because it's every situation, every artist. When in the beginning the checks is good, this, that, and the third. I guess they give you enough money to pacify and not look certain ways. And then all of a sudden, when the checks start drying up, now you want to start looking at shit. Because I'm pretty sure you was getting checks. I'm pretty sure you was getting money. You may have not gotten the totality of your bread, but it was getting you enough not to look at stuff. So whose fault is it if you're not handling your own affairs? And how is this a good example for up and coming artists who want to come up and learn? Who are they going to learn from? Obviously can't be y'all OGs, because y'all still ain't learn nothing. So who's supposed to give them the knowledge to make sure when you get into the game, you're good all the way around? And if you're gonna deal with a major, you know how to deal with them. That's all I'm saying. I just don't understand how is this even possible, and still to this day, 2025, how y'all still getting finessed. But again, condolences to her family. Angie Stone was a great artist. Her music was amazing. It's just tragic that you can't control your own art. I don't get that. Like, how's that? Why do you need these people to move your work for you? You know what I'm saying? Like, this, like on some rich shit. Like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna let you run these corners, but I'm gonna let him hold it. You know what I'm saying? You just chill back and get this money. Like, nah. I want to run this block how I want to run it. You know what I'm saying?
I can't let you do that. You hot, baby.
And he had a good point. He was hot, but in the beginning he was running his own block. So how you gonna tell me to move aside and let somebody else run it? Nah, son. Mm-hmm. Either I run it or nobody running it. And that's how I feel artists. I don't get it. Like, at this point, why do you even need majors now?
This is an easy answer for me. This is an easy answer because when I first started, you're not deemed successful as an artist until you sign with a major.
And I feel that's the perception. That's back to the whole thing we was talking about before.
I was going to get into that, right? So because that perception is a motherfucker. It's serious. The perception, going back to what we talking about with the NBA, right? Well, about the sneakers, the perception. This perception in our culture, in our community, you're not successful unless you get with Diddy, unless you get with Jay-Z, unless you get with, anybody that held power and that's recognizable of success. You're not successful until you get with them. Opposed to doing what they did. And what they did, they may have came through someone, but they had their own thing. Especially Jay-Z. He came into the game with his own money. And the fact that because he was so talented, he looked at the music as a business, and because he has the own type of music, he was like, "Yo, because I have my own bread, I could afford the promotion. I could afford to do this and do that." But most 99.9 of the artists had a different mentality. I'm broke and I need to get on. And I'm going to get on because by me getting on, it makes me look successful. Yeah, I may not have no money on me, but I'm in the $1 million videos. I got the nice car in the video. I got the nice looking chick in the video. People butt naked in the video. adhering to me in the video, I look amazing. Oh, now I could go on 106 and Park and show my video. This is the time when she came out. So I'm just painting a picture of the culture and that perception of looking successful and hopefully being able to get that money on the road. So it's very easy on how and why they would sign these contracts. Now, is it a good model? Of course not, because it's built for the inevitable. It's inevitable for you to slow down. That's why they put it. That's why they put these contracts in perpetuity forever. You want to buy back? Okay, cool. We got it forever unless you got the money to buy back your rights. Jay-Z took like $5 million to get out of Def Jam. He's like, yo, I'm gonna give y'all some money just so I can leave the contract. No, it doesn't fit. It doesn't. It's not feasible for me anymore. And that's why I'm so grateful that I never signed a major deal. When I told my father I want to get into music, the first thing this man gave me was a big ass book on the music industry called Music Industry. Big ass telephone book. And I'm like, yo, I want to do music. He said, you want to do music, but you really don't want to do music. And I didn't get what he said. I said, nah, I really want to do it. So you got to read that book so that way you know what's going on when it comes to contracting. You know what to receive. You know what to get. Because then you learn that music contracts is not even based on talent now. It's based on numbers. Do you have the numbers to come to a label and say, yo, I want to do a partnership with y'all? But if you got the numbers, why do the partnership? You don't need the upfront money. You can always get slow cash because slow cash is going to add up. When people look at different artists and be like, oh, he doesn't have 1 million streams. He got a couple thousand or 100,000. Yeah, that shit adds up because guess what? It only goes to one person opposed to having millions of streams and it's broken down to 10, 12 people before you even thought of. Most artists don't even see the bread. They get their bread that they signed for, and that's it. So it's easy how they get into these contracts because most artists believe if I have somebody handling my stuff, I'm important enough for them to handle it. But they don't know how this go. Like they talked about, when you hear it all the time, when you sign with a major, they give you a lawyer. You supposed to go get your lawyer, but most artists won't get their own lawyer. They give you a lawyer to finish your deal, to finish this deal. Like, yo, we trying to make the deal today. We're going to give you 25 racks, but you got to break your lawyer off because he's doing the deal for you. So the lawyer makes anywhere from 3 to 5 racks. It's just off the sign. Ain't sung a note, ain't rapped a bar, nothing. Not to mention the lawyer that they give you is in the best interest of the label. And you're like, damn, how did they give you a lawyer? That's a conflict of interest because even though they do it slick wise, because even though they do business with the lawyer is not representing the label. So that's how they get away with it. So that's why you continuously hear artists such as Addy Stone and other major artists who were famous and who were popping are struggling today and not receiving and haven't never received the proper benefits and money from their music. It's because of that perception. Most people will rather be perceived to be popping, stand next to somebody that's popping, than to stand alone, have lower numbers, but make more money.
That's a fact.
It's too many times I've seen, I've seen artists who didn't have as big of a buzz as major artists, but live a completely better lifestyle than these so-called major artists who's constantly on TV, who's constantly getting pub. These major artists are struggling. They borrowing money from this person, borrowing money from that person. They gotta do something strange for a piece of change from that other person over there. Perception. And most people are in love with the perception than actually being successful. Shout out to Moo. She hitting that chat hard. Nowadays, you don't need a major label because these apps pay the artist the money. Tyrone is bigger. Tyrone and bigger companies, depending on what to do, they snatch in a heartbeat. Yeah, absolutely. most artists, you need you some form of representation. You need a team, not necessarily a label. If your team is a label, then cool. But be a part of the label in its decision making choices. Artists understand if you come to the table without money, you do not call no shots. You have to come to the table with money. Yes, we could do a partnership. Yes, I know if I sign with y'all that I'm gonna be able to get this amount of money on shows because y'all fan base is gonna give me a new fan base, or it's gonna help grow my fan base. So I'm willing to cut y'all in because it's gonna take my money overall from 80,000 to 200,000. But I'm coming to the table with some money. If you don't come to the table with money, you do not call no shots, artists. That's just the way it go. Big bank take little bank all day. So it's sad to hear and see that older artists, a lot of older artists was a part of the establishment where they had to be in a label or I had to be a part of the structure that was just constantly robbing artists. I thought about it earlier. Think about it. We was in a time where CDs was a big deal, having a video was a big deal, and those are major parts of a deal. And just off those two things right there, most artists would have killed to have a hot CD and a video, a music video that played nonstop on 106 and Park or something like that.
But they had examples of people pressing up their own CDs and selling it out the back of the trunk of their car. You know what I'm saying? And then when these labels got too big, now these majors came in. We don't know what these meetings were about. We don't know what the contracts was. But as soon as they got with these majors, that hustle and the grind that got them there ceased to exist. So my point was like, why even need them if you already got the money where they were coming to you anyway? Obviously, you didn't need them in the first place because you was making the bread. Now they coming to you while you making the bread. Just continue making the bread. But somehow, some way, whatever meeting, whatever little chicken sandwich they was dangling, had niggas just going for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if that shit had you moving forward, where No Limit is a perfect example.
Mm-hmm. Perfect example.
So what happened?
Mm-hmm.
What meeting was it where they J jerked you? Which meeting was it?
Oh, No Limit?
Yeah, which meeting was it that they had that J jerked them with No Limit is not even a label, credible, have any kind of relevancy, any kind of funds today?
No, they still around.
I know they're still around, but the relevancy and the bread and the where they was before is not nowhere near where it was in the beginning.
I think it has everything to do with Master P handing the keys to Romeo and Romeo not having the same passion for the music as Pops did. Because there was No Limit forever, and that was supposed to be Romeo thing when he's taking this, take the label and take it to the new heights, while Dad focused on clothing and all the other business, movies and things like that. So I think that's why, and them in particular. But Master P did one of the smartest things I've ever heard of. He got an inheritance from his grandfather, took that money and bought a damn record store, a whole record store. This is back when people would actually go to a mom and pop record store to still buy records. And in the back, start making his own records. So while he's selling all the commercial records that's out here, he's sliding them joints in there like, yo, that's me. Not to mention moving them records from the trunk of his car. So, and then taking the money that he's made, he took $25,000 to go meet with Michael Jackson's lawyer to learn the game. And that's how he was able to build the No Limit. But No Limit died out because of the passing of the guard. It's just not having the same passion. Romeo passion is acting. I don't think it's music because it's not. I think we've seen it. You just said it. It's no more No Limit, right? It is, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happened with No Limit. Just to be clear, so I don't want people in the rewatch, typing these answers or whatever, because this is the actual factual to it. So, but at the end of the day, the fact still remains: why do most artists still sign those deals? Because you don't hear, if you really looking at it, how many no limit artists you hear coming out talking about they down bad, except for Mystical, because of what Mystical, you know, law situation is. Like, he's back in jail. He's going to be in jail for a long time. But I've never heard another no limit artist talk about money problems. I never heard Mia X talk about money problems. I never heard Fiend talk about money problems. I never heard Silk the Shocker talk about money problems. I never hear Snoop Dogg talk about money problems after the fact he came from No Limit. So if this group right here has a business structure of taking care of their artists and their artists doing the work, why did other parts of the of why haven't other new record executives or moguls adopt that same model? Because it benefited them more to sign them with a label, for them to max out with the label and bring other artists, and they take that money from the other artists. That's why they didn't do it. They wasn't about empowering other artists. Because if they was, they would have adopted Master P's process. And I'm not trying to throw stones, but how many cash money artists talk about their paperwork not right, their money is not adding up? Damn near everybody. So that goes to show right then and there. So again, rest in peace to Angie Stone. This conversation has so many layers, but again, we have to look at what's been done. So if we haven't seen it, it's not that they didn't have the knowledge, they didn't feel like it benefited them. How many artists said P Diddy didn't get their money right? Countless. So, all right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Uh, my bad. All right. So, what are some sneakers growing up that you always wanted until you seen them in person?
You said what?
What are some sneakers growing up that you always wanted until you seen them in person?
I don't know. I can't think of that off the top of my head right now.
All right, so I'll start this one off. I remember when we was little kids, and a pair of sneakers I wanted to get only because of his persona. Shout out to Larry Johnson. Larry Johnson was known as Grandma Mon, dunking on everybody. He was Diesel and all everything. And as a little kid, I was like, yo, that looks so dope. Like, he dunking on people. He got new sneakers. Yo, I gotta give me a pair of Grandma Mons. This is at the age where you don't know no better. You know what I'm saying? You just influenced by, people that you like to see do well. And I went to the store. I'm like, yo, where's the Grandma Mons? I'm hyped. And this is VIMs back in the day, Brooklyn. And the dude was like, yo, you want them Grandma Moss? He was looking at me like, yo, you sure? You don't want them Jordans? Them Jordans is fire over there. I'm like, nah, what are Grandma Moss? And my mother is like, yeah, he been talking about these damn sneakers. He was like, yo, I didn't know they was Converse. I didn't know they looked like that. So they was a trash looking shoe, but it was just the fact that he had them on in the commercial dunking on people that made me wild enthused to go get the pair of Grandma Mom. So I had to ask that question: what are a pair of sneakers that you wanted until you see the person? Because for me, when I seen them, it was a wrap for me. Like, I'm out of the Larry Johnson business.
Yeah, I gotta think about that one. I can't think about it off the top of my head.
Okay. Yeah, man, but yeah, that I had to get that one out, because them Larry John, they trying to bring back them Larry Johnsons, by the way. If you like, it's a acquired taste, but I can't bangs with it, me personally. YE sneakers, they saying in the chat, YE sneakers. Uh, relate to that. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. Did you know that all this time the USA have never established an official language until recently, until Donald Trump has established that English is the official language of the USA? Did you know that?
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that people think is perceived as not actually been legally put into place.
Mm-hmm.
It's only in the in the realm of like, oh, what ifs, like, oh, it is that, but you know what I'm saying? It's never been legally put down on paperwork, and that's what is really more important than anything else. Once it's legalized in this document, then it's official. Crazy enough, we've been speaking this language for this long, but the mere fact that nobody thought to really put this as an official document showcases where um people's mindset is, because you have to really put everything down on paper to make it official.
So our priorities was all mixed up all this time.
Without having English as a proper language, yes, because like back then it wasn't English.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people were speaking Latin. Just because the movies are portraying in the timepiece that you think they were speaking English, no. That's what they were using to write on paper. That's not what they actually were speaking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he had to be like, all right, now English is the official language. So people think, because in South Florida, all of a sudden people think in South Florida it's Cuba or something, or Puerto Rico,
Right.
or Dominican Republic. I don't care if I'm in Little Havana. I'm still in America. So you're going to speak English.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how you feel about it. Oh, my friend, why don't you speak Spanish? Why don't you speak English?
Mm-hmm.
Last time I checked, we're in America.
Right.
So the language is English, and now it's officially English. So I don't give a hot damn if I'm in Little Havana. I'm still in America, so you should be speaking English. The audacity of these people down here with the gall and disrespect, looking at me crazy like I'm in Puerto Rico or I'm in Dominican Republic or something like that. And even if I was, you're still going to be speaking English there too anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we talking about?
Well, Jack's stupid. Mm-hmm.
I need to stop.
Yeah, that was very interesting to me. I didn't know that. As far as we never established that the official speaking language was English.
I'm glad we established, because these Piquito Jones down here be acting crazy like we in Nicaragua or something. Y'all need to stop. You
Mm-hmm.
need to speak English. I'm not gonna learn Spanish. For what? I had to learn English when I came to this country. So what makes you any better or any special that you don't have to learn it? Please tell me.
That's a fact.
It's the English language is the official language of America. So if you're not speaking that, I don't know what to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Per Trump. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So now it's official. So now I don't know why y'all still speaking Spanish to me. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna continue speaking English because that's the official language of this country.
Mm-hmm.
Point blank, period.
Yeah. I just thought it was super interesting, but again, I like how everything is being established, and we're showing a very strong front. And I'm not the biggest Trump fan. Y'all know this in the chat. For some of y'all first timers, I'm not a fan of Trump, but I'm feeling the energy. I appreciate just how he moving. This is big USA, and if you're going to be dealing with big USA, these are the things you have to adhere to. And this is the established language here. Just like if we was to go anywhere else, we would have to respect the language there. We would have to adhere to the rules over there. When you go to Dubai, you have to adhere the rules in Dubai. If you go to Mexico or any other country, you have to adhere of the rules over in those countries. But big USA, I love the fact that we're a melting pot, but our melting pot hasn't had a real direct leadership in every aspect. And that's the part that I'm really respecting about Donald Trump's moves. They're very deliberate and it's precise. And if you act up, you're gonna get this work. Especially if you're talking crazy in our house. Speak English in our house. If we was in your house, we would speak your language too. So don't trip, don't get flipped, don't act up. So I'm loving the energy. Loving the energy. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. Wow, it has been 1 month since Donald Trump has been on Russia. Feels like a year already. It does feel like a year already. He's making moves. Golf of America. I love it. I love it. We talked about that in past shows, right? About Golf of America instead of Golf of Mexico. I'm all for it. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. Uh, did you know that these airlines never had a crash? All right, so number one is the Emirates airline. Number two is Hawaii Airlines. Number three is uh, Qatar, and number four is Southwest Airlines. Now I have the fifth one, but I messed up half of the word, so I'm gonna negate that. And this is according to aeromugs.com. These are airlines that never had any crashes. What do you think about that?
That is the worst list known to man to create. Like, that does not make my life that much better. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, these are companies of planes that didn't crash. So why the fuck the companies that are planes that are crashing ain't talking to these companies where their planes ain't crashing and y'all get together and figure the shit out?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, what are we doing here? Like, oh, see, this is the Department of Education work right here, son. This is the results of this. You got a list of, oh, these are the companies that didn't crash. Y'all niggas need to talk to them niggas and figure this shit out. You act like, oh, if their customers don't want to fuck with them, they're gonna come over here. If them customers fuck with them, they're gonna die. What you mean? Ain't gonna be no customers. Like, what are we talking about here?
Mm-hmm.
This is ridiculous. Those need to holler at these companies and find out what's going on. Because I'm pretty sure it's these companies liquidated their assets and paid their shareholders the big bread and not reinvested the money back into the companies. So now when it comes time to repair situations and this, that, and the third, they don't have the right tools. So they're gonna use aftermarket parts, cheap shit. Damn near don't even put the parts in.
Right.
Like, fuck, we just gonna use this heat sealed duct tape. It'd be all right. Now, cool. And more, I thought that movie was a joke, but more and more, what was that shit? The shit, the Soul Plane.
Also, oh yeah.
I thought that shit was a joke, but now it's real life now. It's real ghetto shit that's going on right now. How you not reinvest the money into your company, into your business?
Now I look.
This is not a basketball rim we talking about. These are planes. This is not something you could just, I'm gonna wing it. Not what you mean wing it?
Yeah.
20,000 feet, 20,000 feet in the air. You gonna wing it? Nah.
Now I did some research behind this, and they said that 95% of the time when planes get into any type of incident or crash, that is 95% the pilot's fault.
Oh damn, they gonna just blame the whole pilot, huh?
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy.
Right.
It's so easy to blame the pilot, huh?
Right.
Fuck out of here. How is it the pilot all of a sudden? Stop it. So the pilot is flying the plane, but all of a sudden the engine blow up and smoke, but it's the pilot's fault that happened.
Right.
Well, he pressed the wrong button or something?
Right.
Come on, son. That is crazy. That is scapegoating 101 right there. If anything taught me when Denzel flew that plane under and liquor, and let me know it ain't the damn pilot, son.
Right. I was just thinking that too. I kid you not. I was just thinking about that movie Flight.
Bro was high off coke and all types of ubiquitous fucking liquors,
Right.
and still
And
did
then,
the damn thing.
and then he snort a little black magic before he was up there.
Yeah, him and his shorty do wop. You know what I'm saying? They was higher than the motherfucker.
Coke and Daniels, you know what I'm saying?
And he had one on the tarmac. So I'm just saying, like, and what happened to that pilot Sully, the dude that landed the plane in the Hudson a couple of years ago?
Word. Right.
He stayed alive, but they threw him under the bus.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy how these companies, how y'all get finessed. The perception is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The man went out his way to save every life, but y'all chastise him. Talking about it's the pilot's fault. How?
And the fact that we have a low list of flights or flighting places, I can't think of the official word, airlines that never had a crash in their entire existence. So something as simple as what you said at the top of this is why y'all not studying these companies on their procedures and how they go about landing and taking off and just the intricacies of flying.
Like, I'm gonna blame the company first for the inadequacies of not reinvesting in the companies before I go after the pilots.
Mm-hmm.
If the planes are top notch and they up to par, there should be no reason why parts is flying off the joint. You know what I'm saying? You need that part for a reason, right? That's why you put it there, right? That's what I'm assuming.
Right.
Because you need that. That's like saying,
Right.
I don't need my brakes if the joint just come off. I can
Right.
figure it out.
Right.
Like, come on. So you're making it seem like the pilot is also the mechanic too. Like, he's supposed to fly the plane, land the plane, and fix the plane too?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. That's crazy. I don't believe it's the pilot. I'm gonna say it's these damn companies and shareholders these companies, these corporations focusing on shareholders, making sure they get their cut, and everybody else get whatever's left.
Mm-hmm. I agree. It's just nasty work. And these airlines are very financially, based on a whole nother level. But at the end of the day, they still have procedures and ways on how they move without their passengers have to worry about any types of crash. So, all right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Devontae Tank Davis fights Lamont Roach Jr. and the fight ends in a draw. What do you think about that?
I didn't really watch the fight. I'm not really a boxing fan. I don't really watch boxing.
Okay. For those who are boxing fans in the chat, I saw the fight. It was a good fight. Devontae, you would normally think it's a walk in the park, but this man, Lamont Roach, he was serious business. And I don't think Tank was used to the type of skill of counterpuncher that Lamont Roach Jr. is. I didn't think he was that good of a counterpuncher myself, seeing some of his previous fights, because some of his previous fights wasn't well known in the sense of publicity. But he's a very good technical fighter, and he showed that he's on the level with Tank Davis. Like, he hit Tank Davis so hard one time, Tank had to take a knee. Now he said that he took a knee for some other injuries that was pre-existing, but it didn't look good when he landed on him and Tank ended up having to take that knee. Those parts of the fight, I thought Lamont Roach Jr. dominated. But if he don't overtake, then they're not going to give you that fight. Anytime the fight go the distance and it's kind of sorta, they always going to go with the champ. So they might get a rematch. That's how good that fight was. There might be a rematch. I would rather see a rematch with Tank Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. than with Tank Davis and anybody else. The fight was that good. We need a part two to this fight, and we need a winner. We want somebody to win. So, great fight. I know they have it up on YouTube if you trying to see it. But yeah, for those in the chat with Roach, yeah, my wife. On the remote fighting. Yeah. So it was a great fight, and for those who didn't see it, you could check out the highlights on YouTube, and it's available. But great fight, and looking forward to seeing part two of that fight if they decide to run it back. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. Why do we see relationships uh today leveraged in content? That's the question. Why do we see today's relationships leveraged for content?
I guess it's a new medium. It's a new platform to use to launch, I guess, whatever product you got, whether you're selling yourself, your family. I guess it's just the easiest way to get people to like connect with you. You know what I'm saying? So, um, is it a good thing? I don't think we haven't seen in the severity of these things yet because it's like we're in the thick of it, and it's
Yeah.
like as we're watching it, some of it is just like really cringe and it's just really weird because it's like you gotta film it a couple of times and then go back and edit it and then put it together. Cause and you know what I'm saying? How is it genuine? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you gotta go back and redo it, or like you probably didn't say the sentence right, or it was, you know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
feeling wasn't right. You're gonna
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
back and redo it again. Like that's kind of like weird to me. And then when you add the kids, it's like it's scripted because kids gonna say whatever they want, but when they go off script and they say something real, now all of a sudden you break character. Like, wait
Right.
a minute, I thought you was a real person. How you breaking character? Like,
Right. Right.
you know
Right.
what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
like it's just weird altogether.
Yeah. I feel like that's like a thing now. Every time you see any of these, so-called celebrities or people that are known, it's like their relationship is the content. They have nothing else going. Um, I really thought about this because I seen a video of the young lady Bambi from Love and Hip Hop, and this is no diss to her for real, to be honest with you. But they said that she was getting engaged. They showed a video of her getting engaged to another to this guy, whatever. And it made me wonder. And again, this no diss to her, but this woman already has 2 to 3 kids, so she could be a hella foul woman, just like how a lot of our friends and a lot of our friends have stepfathers, meaning that they was born and their mom was able to remarry because of the type of woman that our moms were, right? Maybe she's that type of woman. Maybe she's cut from that kind of cloth. But to see him want to marry a woman that has 2 or 3 kids in this day and age was kind of like, if you're popping, you have the pick of the litter from all types of women that don't have any kids at all. Maybe she's that lit that she gives him something that he can't get from nowhere else. Now, if that's true, then cool. But there's nothing else going on. It's just their relationship. And I thought little Scrappy was fighting for his life, and you get engaged, and it's like like it's just weird to me. Like it just seems like being in a relationship is the new content to stay relevant, to stay spoken about, but you don't have nothing else really going on. Now, if it's genuine, then shit is genuine. I don't got nothing to say about a genuine relationship. If somebody's that fire and they have children already, they that fire. They give me something that I can't get nowhere else, regardless of their past. Then I can respect that all day. But it's just weird that when we see situations like this, the fact that you're going to announce the engagement, and then like 2 months down the line, it's over. So it doesn't. Because of that, we see that too many times. It don't come off as genuine.
I feel as though it's a ploy to keep this whole single mother, bad girl, boss babe image alive as a perception, like it's real, like it's tangible. Because at the end of the day, no disrespect and no shades and no, you know what I mean, Bambi or whatever. But if you was that official, you would, you know what I'm saying, you would have been in the first marriage. You would never have to get out the other marriage and then try to find another guy. You know what I'm saying? Like it just would be that. You know what I'm saying? If you had whatever that it factor is, I'm pretty sure Scrappy would fight and keep his relationships together. Matter of fact, we have to perpetuate this image that, oh, you could be a boss babe, you could have 2-3 kids from another previous relationship, and somebody else is still gonna marry you. It's like, nah, son, that image and that perception, that shit gotta die, because the product of single motherhood statistically has never been good.
Facts.
So if we keep perpetuating, and especially with our community, it's always with us. With our community, we need to really come together and fix that. No cameras, none of that. We need to do it our own way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For us.
Right.
Because now they're using this content to now pivot, and they could sway however they want to make it. Because at the end of the day, they're the one that's creating it. So if you create the content, now you have what's the word I'm looking for? You have a certain responsibility to, not, I want to say police your content, but to make sure your content is a certain way. So if you're making it, if you're gonna make me believe that it's genuine, but yet and still you're using certain stigmas as part of it, now I know it's a game. Like, I don't believe it. And then what family member wants to be recorded when they're doing things? Like, what is that? What is that? Like, it goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? Single dad, single moms. Like, it goes both ways. Like, there's always somebody that, because we talk about one, we don't talk about the other. We always talk about both.
Yeah. But I want to debunk that too. Just because we talk about one doesn't mean that we have to talk about the other either. The one has to take it on the chin. Because for men, we have no problem being accountable and sitting in our accountability. Women have to be able to hear it without hearing, like, yeah, it's on me too. Nah, it's on you right now.
Nah, facts. I agree with that. That's
You know what I'm
a
saying?
fair point.
So at the end of the day, do it happen on both sides? To my bro point, because I'm not, this is not to my bro. Do it happen on both sides? Of course. But when y'all hear stuff, y'all have to lay in that. Y'all have to lay in it. It can't always be, yeah, you was wrong. No, bitch, you was wrong. Period. And it's more prevalent in our community because at the end of the day, when you look at the situation, there's a bigger responsibility that comes with us being in relationships. And then when we put it on blast and we put it out for public consumption, just to put it out for content is not genuine. When we have a weekly show, me and my girl, and we talking about, what we was talking about last night in the bedroom. So now we're inviting people into our relationship. That's not genuine. Now, if we're somewhere lovely and we're having a great time and we take a picture, that's a slight big difference because we're putting up something that we're enjoying together in a moment for us. We're not inviting y'all into the intricacies of that. We're not telling y'all like, yo, when we got here, yo, we had to strip like this, and now we ain't doing all that. So on this, the women got a hold that. I of course, but a woman don't have to be wrong to become a single mom. But agree about the content. A woman don't have to be wrong to be a single mom. Being a single mom has nothing to do about necessarily being wrong or right. It's just a circumstance. It's just a circumstance. Plenty of moms, a lot of my friends, their mom was able to get remarried. My mom had the oldest brother first and then was able to marry my father. It was something about my mom that my pops couldn't get from no other woman. The same as my friends growing up. So it was a quality that those women had that was able for them to get married. That's a fact because we wouldn't have seen it. But we're seeing a decrease in it is mainly because what men feel like we're not receiving from a woman. So y'all have to lay in that. So a woman don't have to be wrong to be a single to be a single mom. But at the end of the day, it's like, yo, If you don't want to be a single mom, there's a way you have to move. You have to move in the better interest of yourself if you don't want to be a single mom. You see white women all the time get remarried.
That's a fact.
So and do understand we're for our women, but we have to have these real conversations and laying it. She probably makes some great food and some much. Hey, I'm here. My brother's here. You know what I'm saying? So they had to do something right. So let's keep it real. We're all adults in the room. Let's keep it real. It was doing something right. So, you know. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. A 15-year-old boy from Florida gets. Yeah, I'm sorry. A 15-year-old boy from Florida gets locked up for raping a 91-year-old woman. He got sentenced to 25 years for beating and raping. About that.
That's it's tragic. Like huh, it's my great grandmother. Like that's horrible. I never grew up with my grandmother, so
Yeah,
anything when people have their grandparents and stuff like that, so it's soft spot in my heart. So
yeah.
yeah, convicted and got, you know what I'm saying, justice how it's supposed to be served.
Do you think he got enough time?
Uh 25 to life, was it, or 25 years?
25 years.
I mean, how case law is done, they're gonna go by the priors, and if it's state, they're gonna go by the number in the point system. So based on those criterias, that's what he got. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If he never had no priors before this and he never got arrested, they gotta take that into account. He's a minor, they gotta take that into account. So if they tried him as an adult, then again they would have to take into account has he had any priors and stuff like that. So with the guidelines and how they do it with the years based on those criterias, yeah, probably land around 25 years. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I think he should have got life. I mean, he's 15 years old. I mean, 25 years. Get out, what, at 40? Yeah, 40. Yeah, I mean, you're getting out at 40 for raping and beating a 90-year-old, 91-year-old woman. I can't imagine what 25 years is going to do to his psyche. I don't see that he'll be rehabilitated. I mean, we live in a land of second chances, but for a kid to be that, vile, disrespectful, um, just all around, just an all around idiot, to do something like this. This is not somebody you want on the streets at all. So I don't think the time really fit, but I get the case law and how they broke it down to 25 years. Um, I wouldn't want him on the streets. I wouldn't want him on the streets. So, but I'm glad he's in jail and he's going to do some time.
Facts.
All right, moving on to our next hot topic. A mom reappears after she left her baby with the dad at the hospital. Shows up 12 years later on the dad's doorstep. What do you think about that?
uh I wonder how he handled that. Like, what they say how he handled that?
Well, there's a video, so he handled it oh my God, like what are you doing here? Mind you, he didn't live in the same area that he once did. He relocated completely. And he was like, "Oh my God, like I'm shocked to see you. Like what are you doing here?" And the exchange pretty much was her response to that was, I wasn't ready to take care of a child. I had this job lined up, so I had to make sure I went to go make this money. But at the end of the day, I told you I wasn't ready to raise a child. But I left our child with you because I knew he was going to be in great hands. So that was her basic response. He gave her a hug. Like he gave her a hug. I don't know why, but he gave her a hug. He wasn't. he wasn't visibly upset, at least. And then now the son comes to the door. He was like, "Yo, meet your mom for the first time. This is your mom." So that's how that exchange went.
This is so weird. It's back to your point of doing family content. Like, what was the point of recording this? Like,
Well, this was on the ring. The
oh,
how they captured it was on the ring camera.
right. So how did they go from the ring camera to everybody else know?
Oh, I
You
see.
know what I'm saying?
I,
Like,
yeah.
you go out your way to post this shit for what?
Mm-hmm.
So you mean to tell me after 12 years, your first response is, "Oh my God, what are you doing here?" How is that a real response? That is not real life. That is scripted. Ain't no way in hell you gonna tell me after 12 years you dip on me with a baby in hand that you just gave birth to, literally in the hospital. 12 years later, I'm like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" That's gonna be the response.
Right.
Come on, son. Come on.
Right.
Let's be for real. Like, this is not real life. I don't believe that's a real occurrence and a real back and forth, because this can't be real.
Mm-hmm.
It's not real. It's made up. There's no way in hell that's real life, because that cannot be a real life scenario that actually happened and that's your response.
Mm-hmm.
Even Steven Spielberg will write a better script than that. Like, come on, dog.
He would jazz it up a little bit better.
Jazz it up just a little bit better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just a little bit better. Like, Denzel Washington will act that better than that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
No. You gotta be acted way better than that.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta redo that. So you just found them after 12 years. How? You kept tabs on them the whole time, but never linked up with them? Never? He never tried to reach out to you? Nobody tried to reach out to nobody for 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you just randomly pop up at the door, "Hey, how you doing? I'm back now."
Mm-hmm.
This is not real. I don't believe it's real. This is just internet fugaga, fugazi shit. Straight buffali.
Yeah, she was like, he asked her that. He was like, "How did you find us?" She was like, "I followed Jack." He said, I found you guys through the internet." So that was her response. So he's like, you know, like in the disbelief, like this is all on the video. And he's like in disbelief, and this is what she's saying to him. I mean, if this is a real thing, um, it wouldn't pay him to be upset. To be honest with you, it wouldn't pay him to be mad at her. Like, you can be mad at her, but it don't pay to be mad at her, because one, you got your son. Two, you left me with a responsibility for both people to have. But at the end of the day, I got my son. I was in charge and showing him how to be a man from day one. Straight nature, no nurture. A little nurture, but mostly nature. So I'm not, me personally, if this is real, I wouldn't be that upset. I'll be like, "Yo, you all right? Are you all right? Are you okay? Do you want to see your son? Do you want to meet him?" Because I got 12 years of memory for myself. And it's easy to decipher what type of person you are. You did me a favor by letting me know that I could not trust you. You did me a favor by letting me know that you have no accountability. So come meet your son. Come meet him. So now our son can understand what the role of his father was, and like let's keep it real. Just because you no longer with a woman, that don't mean his role model, his or what the woman figure in his life was non-existent. The little boy done had him a woman figure in his life. Cause the guy said, "Meet your real mom." I'm saying, me personally, I'm not. I don't know. Maybe it's just my mindset. I'm not too pissed off in that nature. And me, I'm the type of dad. I actually raised my daughter. My daughter's 22 years old. She's going to be 22 years old. She was raised in my household. Meaning I had custody of her. So me personally, if that was me looking at the situation, if this is real, I wouldn't even be mad. Because the child was with me. Because I know for a fact that my child was going to get the right tools to be successful. Like, for example, my daughter graduated high school in 3 years. 4.0 average. I'm just saying. Not trying to gloat, but you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Rowan Jack again for that gifted. He gave up on mom. He gave up on mom for 1 billion. You remember the thing we had earlier in the show, the 1 billion, 100 billion. He said
Yeah.
for mom for 1 billion. But yeah, it's wild. It's wild. All right, moving on to our next segment. This segment is brought to you by Bravo Section. Make sure you go to bigbravosection.com. Again, bigbravosection.com. You can buy dope photography or book a session with one of the best photographers in the world, especially if you're in the Miami area. If you're not, you can still book that session. They won't fly out. They'll take the train out, but still take care of your session. Start at bigbravosection.com. You got a petty thought for us, petty law, petty words?
All right, chat. This segment is definitely law words from the Black's Law Dictionary, but as though legal definitions and legal words is definitely very important in our world today because these words are in our faces all the time and we never find out the legal definition of these words. So the first word on the list is arraignment. So arraignment is the procedure whereby the accused is brought before the court to plead to the criminal charge against him in the indictment or the information of the charge, and calling on him to plead thereto. He shall be given a copy of the indictment or information before he is called upon to plead. So this is when you go plead to the judge, not guilty, and this is when you will get part of the indictment of what you're being charged with, not the discovery of what the evidence they have against you, the indictment of the charges.
Mm-hmm.
The next word is contingent fund. So contingent fund is one set up by a municipality to pay expenses, items which will necessarily arise during the year, but cannot appropriately be classified under any of the specific purposes for which other taxes are levied. Contingent fund. So they have these contingency funds, but somehow, some way, it just be dried out. And they don't got no more bread. And they need to check these books.
Right.
All right, next word on the list is postal order. So, postal order is a money order, a letter of credit furnished by the government at a small charge to facilitate the transmission of money. So, again, a postal order is a money order, a letter of credit. So, when you get a money order, they just gave you a letter of credit furnished by the government for a small charge. Remember, the charge for a money order in the post office is like $1. But how is it that they're able to change your money into a money order and it's still viewed as money?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? You get, so the transaction, it goes from a money order to a letter of credit furnished by the government at a small charge to facilitate the transmission of money. So yet that means that the post office is a bank, because how could they issue you a letter of credit? Next on the list is postmaster. Postmaster is an officer of the United States Postal Service appointed to take charge of the local post office and transact the business of receiving and forwarding the mail at that point, and such other businesses as is committed to him under the postal laws. Postmaster. The Postmaster General is the most powerful office there is on the law of the land.
Mm-hmm.
So fuck with the mail if you want to. You know what I'm saying? That's big charges. All right. So my words this week are arraignment, contingent fund, postal order, and postmaster. So if you have any words of any random words, there probably is a legal definition behind it. Get add in the chat and I'll look it up for next episode.
Fire. Make sure y'all send in them words for my bro to look up. Be serious about these words because these are words that we need to know. These words have double meaning. We have them every day. We use them every day. And we think it's for one thing, but the foundation of the word can work in our favor if we know. So shout out to my bro for having these words ready for every episode. All right, moving on to our next segment, our Keep the Lie Live segment.
Keep the lie alive.
The Lie Live. So my Keep the Lie Live for this episode is as a culture, we have to learn what we're fighting for before we fight. This is in remnants of the whole blackout. And I spoke about this last episode about the upcoming blackouts where, yeah, I know I hate to say the word black and refer to us as black people, because we're not 3/5 of the people, I mean, of a person or people. There was supposed to be a blackout that we were supposed to reserve our spending dollars from these big companies that for one day we was not going to spend with these targeted companies or not so targeted companies. And majority of these companies that we're supposed to do a blackout to was out of the DEI. You know, they got rid of the DEI hires and how they incorporate qualified applicants for jobs. But we don't know the game before we fight. We just jump on something that sound good. We jump on something because we hear word of mouth that, yo, this is something I need to do. I had a discussion with somebody about this off camera, and like I said last episode, having a blackout is complete horseshit. Avoiding spending your money for one day is a very ineffective way to show power. It'll be a whole nother thing if we say that we're not going to spend our money there completely. No more. Not for one day. We're not going to spend money in Target for one day. Guess what? Target already have a system where it's built for lost days. Because on a daily basis we overspend as a culture. Just to give y'all some numbers, we are in control of 1.7 trillion dollars spent in this country, the culture, on shit that we just buy. So if we overspend on a daily basis and then triple and quadruple spend on holidays, we just came from Valentine's Day. You think one day is going to show our economic power? And as we holding our dollars from this particular company, who are we going to empower? Who are we going to move our dollars to benefit their business, to recycle the money in our community? These are the things that I'm talking about as far as learning how to play the game before you just play it. What you show these companies is that we're easily manipulated. We're easily persuaded to do whatever that we feel. Only in our culture that we are moved to do things out of feeling or fear mongering when we're talking about real things with economics. Economics don't have no goddamn feelings. You think economics care if somebody is a color? Nah, they want the money. For some reason, we take faith based and feelings when it comes to economic problems. Taking a knife to a damn gunfight. And what's oddly enough, that the DEI hires, it really benefits white women. Period, point blank. The people that's going to be affected the most is white women, because those are the people who benefited from that since the 60s. This is not a thing that they just put in the 90s and the 80s. This has been around since the 60s on how they changed how to hire people using the DEI exclusion for applicants. We don't even know where it comes from. This is where it comes from. This is when it originated in 1964. So we have to learn how to play the game before we just up in the game and yeah, or faith and feeling when we don't. That's not how you show economic power. Showing true economic power is having a real target and a real plan and forever. can't be for one day. One day ain't gonna do nothing. 1 week ain't gonna do nothing. 6 months, a year, and forever, that changes the game. We've seen it during COVID, correct? We just went through COVID. When people wasn't outside, they wasn't spending that money on. Because they're not in the stores, they can't be in the stores. So now the stores have to do everything internet-based. So now we back outside, baby. So now who are we going to empower if we take our dollars from one company to the next? Because it actually hurts people of color not going to Walmart or not going to a Target, because Walmart is a place that gets products from companies and small businesses and big businesses. So you think you're not going to Target, who could stomach your business or your lack of business, opposed to the small business owner who funnels through Target? Are you going to go to them personally? But all right, we're not gonna support you going through Target, but put up your website and we'll go to your website and get your product. That's a conversation we didn't even have. So learn how to play the game before you play it. Anything you want to add to that?
So if you want to play the game right, you just file a color of law violation against these companies. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to read what the deprivation of rights under the color of law. So section 242 of Title 18 makes it a crime for a person acting under the color of law to willfully deprive a person of a right or privilege protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States. For the purpose of section 242, acts under a color of law includes acts not only done by federal, state, or local officials within their lawful authority, but also acts done beyond the bounds of its official lawful authority. It is an act. If the acts are done while the office is purporting to or pretending to act in the performance of his official duties, persons acting under the color of law within the meaning of this statute include police officers, prison guards, and other law enforcement officials, as well as judges, care providers, public official facilities, and others who are acting as public officials. So any public company, you can file a color of law against them. So this will eradicate all this goofiness. So that's your play if you want to play the game.
And shout out to 2%. Okay, so what company would you recommend? That's not for me to decide. My struggle.
That's why I said you just file a call of law if you feel the company discriminated against you based on the color of your skin.
But to add
no matter what company it is, they're doing it because their setup is based on that.
But to add on, my struggle is not your struggle and vice versa. I don't know if I live in your neighborhood, so I can't tell you who to go to. Whatever products that you need, whatever that you're into, we're two different individuals. So whatever you need and whatever you're into, then you figure out the company that you want to go to empower that company, instead of not going to Walmart or not going to Target or any of this faith-based or feeling that people have or not to go shop at. There's not a universal store where that both of us could go to for every single item. So it's on you. And again, like my bro said, but we have to learn how to play the game and start using business logic to business logic, not faith-based, not feeling, not fear-mongering. Do the research. Do the research. If you're looking for a nice shirt and you don't want to go to Target and Target is in your neighborhood, then figure out the companies that supply Target and figure out if there's somebody you want to deal with directly. Simple and plain. Products are products. Target is just a universal store. And all these other companies that we're going to show our economic dollar to. And it damn sure ain't going to be all for no one day. That's what makes it so goofy, that we actually think one day is like, and then I heard somebody say, well, we need to start somewhere. We don't start off with one day. We start off with forever. Why do something if it's not going to stop it? So that's like saying your bath is going to overflow, and it's overflowing. Yeah, I'm gonna put this over here for now. I'm gonna put 2 towels on top of it. Yeah, that's not going to stop it. It's going to stop it for about 2 seconds. So we're not talking about stopping it completely. Come on now. Stop being faith based, feeling based, and fear mongering when making economic decisions. That's my keep the lie alive, y'all. Again, it's been another dope episode. We thank y'all for tapping in. Y'all been amazing in the chat, going back and forth. We love the energy, to be honest with you. We love the fact that y'all staying engaged and y'all giving ideas. Y'all listening and y'all throwing it back. So we appreciate the true day ones and the true people who are coming in even for the first time, showing love and staying engaged because y'all really in tune to what we're talking about and what we got going on. Again, if this is your first time, this is Ken and Brothers Get a Rap podcast. We talk about everything over here, baby. We talk about sports, politics. We get into some heavy, in-depth conversations from the culture, by the culture, and it's for everyone too. This is not just because this is not about race. This is about subculture, and subculture is about unity instead of pulling people apart. But we do talk about everything, so I love that as well. And again, for some of y'all who are their first times, if you're not a member, there's membership portions. There's memberships in the page. I'm sorry. There's memberships links within the bio. Different memberships, different access. So tap into the membership portion of our page. We got over 300 rewatches of this podcast on this channel. So again, continue to share the videos, comment, and like and subscribe. So again, we thank y'all for the love and support. Also, I want to thank some of our sponsors: Bravo Section, Button Snaps, OUV Records. If you're interested in becoming one of the sponsors of the show, you can hit me on Instagram at Ashley Lovechild, or you can hit my bro on his Instagram at
Bravo Section _.
So if you're interested in becoming one of the sponsors of the show, hit us up on Instagram. If you just want to engage, if you just want to show some love, pull up to Instagram. Also, tap into the Overstand podcast every Monday at 9:30. While understand we go Overstand every Monday at 9:30. I feel like I'm missing something else. We on the road to 20,000 subs. We just went over 11,000 subs for the channel. So again, thank y'all for supporting and helping to get that word out. Continue to hit that like button. Continue to hit them hundreds in the chat. We appreciate y'all to the utmost degree. I feel like I'm missing something, bro. Yo, that hat is fire. I didn't tell you that hat was fire. That hat is fire.
My G.
Yeah, that joint is ringing bells. That black and gold, hard body. I got an outfit for it. You know what I'm saying? I got an outfit for it. You know what I'm saying? You see it? You know what I'm saying? I got an outfit for it. You know what I'm saying? I got black and gold on. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Again, we're on every Sunday, every Thursday at 10:30 p.m. Again, Ken and Brothers Get a Rap podcast. And you already know what time it is, man. It's love. And we'll see y'all next time, Thursday at 10:30. Peace.